32 trucks are lined up and ready for action, and I hope you are too. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of round 2 of the American Elite Racing Truck Series, live from iRacing's Atlanta. Last week's winner, Jason Fensler, has control of the field with Tristan Bailey to his outside. Drivers patiently waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. Let's go racing! 1/100th of a second. The difference between these two trucks still side by side on the opening lap. Last week's winner, Fensler, has the advantage out of turn number 2. Tristan Bailey still hanging strong on the outside with Tyler Bellinger watching in the Quality Care Ford F-150. Chevy, Ford, your top 3. Truck 2-5 to the point. Jamie Haynes running in the 5th position on the outside of Nick Gowen in the number 8. Caterpillar Silverado, the 4-3 STP machine of Sammy Harrell, now sits on the inside line. Special Ed in the chat says, Bailey is so fast. You better believe it. Tristan Bailey pulling away from this one. Jason Fensler now on the high side, trying to tuck in behind Bailey. Charlie Mosley Jr. in the number 8-9 Monster Energy truck, sitting just ahead of the 7-8 of Waylon Turner. The DNR Tundra just behind the 2-9 truck. That's Bobby Mathis. Mathis following in the wake of Quentin Stewart, the number 11 Toyota Tundra, our highest ranked Toyota thus far, tucking in behind the 4-3 of Sammy Harrell. On the top side, however, Jamie Haynes starting to fall back just a bit in that 5-3 truck. Haynes probably just trying to get a good feel for his machine in these opening laps. One truck already off the track. That's Mike Newton in the number 98. Newton got into a bit of a scrape, and he's coming down pit road to fix the damage that ails that unmarked Toyota Tundra. Newton comes down pit road for repairs. Jason Fensler, Tyler Bellinger in 3rd, and Tristan Bailey, the Pied Piper of Atlanta, leading this 3-car breakaway, while Nick Gowen in 4th leads the best of the rest. Trucks are just scattered on the high line and the low line at Atlanta. Everybody trying to get a comfortable spot in these opening laps. Truck 98 on his way out of pit road. Adam Boughton in the number 9-4 Kickstart Toyota Tundra. He's on the inside of Chris Fatke in that 2-7, the Hysteria Ford F-150. Last week sporting the colors of the Boise State Broncos. This week, a little bit of love for Def Leppard, one of Chris's favorite bands. Gotta love that. And if we take a close look at the corner there, you can see the Atlanta Racing logo. Shout out Atlanta Racing, covering the AER ARCA Series, where one Joel Conley got his first win. Good for Mr. Kool-Aid Conley. Chris Fatke finds himself on the fringes of the top 15. At the front, 25-5, 8-8, still just tearing the rest of the field to pieces. There's Nick Gowen some 2 seconds away, followed by Sammy Harrell and Quentin Stewart. Further on down the field, Kevin Hayes in the 1-9 Budweiser Silverado. He's driving behind Andrew Teft. Andrew Teft is in the 21. Will Schmilk in the 2-4. Sitting in the 13th position with Atlanta Racing in the chat says, what up, Ricky? What's going on, Atlanta? Glad to have you in the chat as always, buddy. Send my love down to the family over there in the ATL. Appreciate you. Tyler Tyone in the number 80 Fatal X Toyota. He's sitting in the 19th position behind Don Cron. Donovan Cron to you in the number 4 Busch Apple Toyota Tundra. Not the only Busch Apple themed car. You've got Sam Taylor in the number 1 truck, who's getting way too familiar and friendly with the outside wall. Taylor scrapes that outside wall, and the North Carolinian has to pick up the pieces and move on. Atlanta Racing cheering 20 bits. Gosh, I love this guy. Thank you so much, ATL. Appreciate you, my friend. Trucks behind him trying to go to the outside. That looks like the 14 of Randy Lapidus, who's had an episode, and it is the one for Nathan's Hot Dogs. Ford just scrambles off the track, slams that outside wall. Randy Lapidus, did he make contact with the drivers that were around him? Will Schmielk seemed to have gone around, and there's the number 2-4. Schmielk has indeed gone around. You can see the damage on the left-hand side of that Silverado, and caution number 1 flies. Randy Bousquet also crashed. Truck 22, the Winchester Silverado, comes in contact with that inside wall, and you can see the streaks of rubber left on the racetrack. And we'll go back and see what happened. Special Ed cheering 50 bits as well. Appreciate you, Eddie. Thank you so much. Let's go back and see what happened with Randy Lapidus off turn number 4. This is the lap prior. He's on the outside of the 30 truck. That's Jimmy Weathers in that 30. On the outside, just ahead, that's Pat Jenks in the 38, the Pennsylvania driver. Look at the 30 just scrambling left and right. Now keep your eye on the 1-4 of Lapidus. Oh, the 38 getting loose out of turn number 2. Randy, with nowhere to go, messes up the trajectory hard. Comes in contact with that inside wall. Now let's see what happened with Randy Bousquet in the 2-2. He's going to have a crash, as will Schmielk. And there's the contact, it looks like, from Chris Fathke. Schmielk with a heavy, heavy hit to that inside wall. Randy Lapidus driving through the smoke, trying to avoid all of this mess, slams on the brakes way too hard. There he is on the binders once again, and he comes to an undignified halt on that inside wall. Let's go back and see what indeed did happen to Will Schmielk. Oh, the 27 truck, Chris Fathke washing up the racetrack, getting right into him. And the 2-2 trying to avoid him will slowly have another incident there. Have another look. See the 2-7 just washing up the track, gave it a wiggle. You can see he got loose right in front of the 94 truck. Adam Boughton just narrowly avoiding that one. Let's go back and see what this looked like from Adam Boughton's point of view. Riding along now with the 94. Lets off the gas, but keeps it moving. Slick move by Boughton, and that move earns Adam his very own cold trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Boughton sitting in the 15th position so far. The Susquehanna native had a great open to the season last week, as did this driver here, last week's winner, Jason Fensler, coming through, getting the W. He did not come down pit road, neither did Tyler Bellinger behind him or Canadian Tyler Tyone sitting in third. Tristan Bailey, who led those opening 10 laps, did come down pit road, so everybody will have tires 11 laps more fresh than your current points leader and last week's winner, Adam Fensler. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. Drivers will come around to collect the green. We're going to take a quick 60-second break, and we'll be back with more racing from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Fensler to the inside, Bellinger to the outside, waiting for that signal. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Yellow flag immediately out. Will Schmielk has gone around again. Michael Newton, Chris Fathke involved. Mike Allen getting a piece of the action. There is the 3 truck of Mike Allen. The Metallica Silverado got a piece of that one. Chris Fathke, the 2.7 Def Leppard truck, also injured in that act. Well, the truck was, not him, obviously. Well, immediately off of the green flag, let's see what happened here. This is the 3 of Mike Allen. Oh, the 98 just turning right into the 3 truck off the restart there. Chris Fathke in the 2.7 looks like he tried to avoid all of that. That was the 9.8 of Mike Newton. Let's ride in the cockpit and have a look at the hands of Newton. Oh, just got loose at the wrong time. One more listen. And you can hear him downshift after the incident. Just grinding up alongside of that wall. And have a look from Chris Fathke's point of view. Here he is trying to avoid all of this. He gets right through the grass. He's able to keep it damage-free. From Mike Allen's point of view. Just nothing you could do. Not sure what happened to the 98 truck, but the second caution comes out immediately. Idaho's Chris Fathke gets moving once again. Race leader obviously had no time to change. Didn't even get to turn number 2 before the caution came out. But Jason Fensler still ahead of the pack. Let's see if we can bother Mr. Fensler for a quick word. Jason Fensler, Rick James, you got me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, buddy, we got you. So you're leading this race right now. Tristan Bailey behind you. Last week at Las Vegas, Bailey, quickest truck on the track, but you still managed to snag the win when it mattered. Is it going to be the same story 2 weeks in a row?
Well, we'll see. Pit strategy is going to be key tonight. I thought it was a little too early to pit, so stayed out. So we'll just see what we got.
A couple of blinks from Bailey in the 2.5 truck behind you. Does that intermittent internet connectivity issue that he's having kind of worry you? Does it stick in the back of your head when it comes to either drafting or racing near the 25 truck?
Well, if anything, it's distracting more than anything else, but I'm sure it will clear out, or hopefully it does, and we'll have a good race. He's got a pretty strong truck.
Most important question of the race, Mr. Jason Fensler, what's your favorite kind of burger?
Oh, that's a bacon cheeseburger, buddy.
Bacon cheeseburger. Do you get the mushrooms on it too, or not?
It depends on what my mood is.
If you're feeling adventurous, I got you. All right, buddy, keep the shiny side up. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Tyler Bellinger sitting in that 3rd position. He's going to be restarting behind the 5 of Jason Fensler. Sammy Harrell sitting in that 4th position. We've only had one race, but these are the Aer Truck Points headed into this round. Obviously, you see that 1 next to Mr. Fensler in that win column. He's up 16 points from where he needs to be. Drivers highlighted in blue, making the playoffs. There you see the top 12. Drivers highlighted in red, not making the playoffs. And the plus-minus is going to be plus or minus in points to the cut line, 12th place being that cut line. We'll see where we are some rounds from now. Only one race in this season so far. Race number 2 currently underway. Two weeks from now, we'll be at the Dover International Speedway. Now the Dover Motor Speedway, I believe, after a recent rename. Round 4 at Homestead, Miami, and then the 5th round at Michigan International. Matt L. in the chat says, damn job, I missed the start. No worries, Matt. You didn't miss much. A couple of yellow flags in the first 11 laps of competition, but we're about to get moving once again. Last week's winner, Jason Fensler, has control of the field with Tristan Bailey to his outside. We had a yellow immediately on the last green. Will we have the same result this time around? Quentin Stewart starting in 10th. Dougie King in the 1-6 truck starting on the inside of row number 8 in 15th. Donovan Cron in the number 4. He's starting 19th. Will Schmielk on his outside starting in 20th. Jason Fensler with control of the field. He gets moving. Green flag is out. Tristan Bailey immediately taking control of the field once again, car 2-5, despite the intermittent internet connectivity. He's at the front of this field. Jason Fensler in second, one. Sammy Harrell sitting in third. Chevy in the top 3. Nick going in 4th. Bobby Mathis sitting in 5th. Bailey just went purple, 31.34 seconds. He's got the quickest lap out on the track so far. Trucks funneling out of that second corner, everybody getting in line, trying to use the draft. It's not a super speedway or a plate track, but the draft does come into play. Hagen Joyner in the number 7 Silverado sits ahead of Quentin Stewart. He's trying to draft with Tyler Bellinger, who was part of that top 3 pack that was just putting a whooping on the field before caution number 1 flew. Tristan Bailey, however, he pitted on lap 11 with Sammy Harrell. Jason Fensler did not. There's Nick going to the inside, looking for a move on Fensler, using a great run out of the second corner. The Caterpillar Chevy goes to the inside, looking to take third away from Fensler, and does. Matt L. saying he missed the start. He's in the league. He could be racing, but unfortunately he did not make it. But Matt, I promise these guys will put on a show that you won't miss. And here I am thinking this 8 truck is a Caterpillar truck. It's not. Apparently this is a Get Spider, or GST Spider, whatever that means. It looks cool though, doesn't it? That's probably his Twitch gamer tag. That's probably looks like a Twitch logo in between that. Someone tell Nick he's got to make that a little bigger. Doing well, though. 3rd place. Can't blame him. Kevin Hayes in that 19, sitting ahead of Jamie Haynes in the number 53 Advanced Auto Truck. The 11th place Jamie Haynes, sitting ahead of Doug King, who's our hardest charger so far. Dougie's up 16 places from where he started as we hit the 1/4 mark in this race. Behind Dougie, the 12 of Dylan Picklesmeyer, drafting well up on that inside line. Let's ride around with Picklesmeyer. He's sitting right behind the 5-3 and the 16. It's starting to get a bit spicy in that cockpit. Picklesmeyer to the inside of Bellinger. Matt L in the chat says, oh yeah, the 8 Nick, that is his Twitch tag. Thanks for that clarification, Matt. But something's gone on with this double 8 here. Bellinger, who was in the top 3 before those first 2 yellows, now falling outside of the top 10. And the New Hampshire pilot looking to get a move on. We're almost 1/3 of the way through this race. Bellinger looking at the points right now, just on the fringes of making the playoffs. And in this second round, it is no time for Bellinger to start losing that grip he might have. Bellinger looking to at least do a bit better in the first half of this race. Still plenty of racing to go. Sammy Harrell, 1.7 seconds off of race leader Tristan Bailey, has Nick Gowen creeping up in his rear view mirror. Gowen at his home track in Atlanta, trying to show for the folks at home, for the fans watching on their Twitch and YouTube channels. 2.5, 4.3, 8, your top 3. Special Dogs and More says, wow, terrible, I'm out of the race, hate glitches. Talking about Randy Lapidus, who's not in this race. Lapidus being scored 32nd right now, out of this competition. Terrible way to go out for Randy. Mike Allen in that 3. He was involved in that most recent caution. He's sitting in the 30th position right now, some distance behind Will Schmielk. Special Ed in the chat says, dang, Randy. Dang, Randy indeed. But look at Nick Gowen. Dang, Nick. He's making a move now. He's up 4 places from where he started, getting around Sammy Harrell. And over the last 5 laps, Nick Gowen, he's been quicker than Tristan Bailey. Take a look at that difference. The draft may have helped. Not a lot of difference between those 2 drivers, but he was 1/10 quicker than race leader Tristan Bailey in that 2.5 truck, and Gowen could be marching towards that front spot. Further on back, Picklesmeyer on the outside of Quentin Stewart, chasing Jamie Haynes on that top line. Jason Fensler, who did not come down pit road for tires, may be regretting it, but drivers do get 5 sets of tires in this race. This old Atlanta surface is notorious for just eating tires. Almost like an old Rockingham, if you will. Waylon Turner looking to take advantage of the Warren Goodyear situation on Fensler. Let's ride along with Turner. He's chasing down Jason Fensler for a spot in the top 10, and there's a wreck behind him. There's Dougie King, who gets loose out of turn number 2. King able to save his truck, no crash. They keep it moving. King trying to float back gently up onto the lower line. Off that apron on his outside, the 2.8 of Jorge Rincon now moves into the 16th position. The native from Agua Dulce takes his Goodwrench Silverado. Past the 1.6, Donovan Cron, Joe Nelson, all taking advantage. Andrew Teft as well, now on the outside of truck 1.6. Not sure what just happened to Doug King, but that was just massive. Quick way to keep it off that wall again. This is a few laps prior. You can see he's just wrestling with those 2. The 12 of Picklesmeyer blinking earlier. Hopefully that didn't have anything to do with it. See if we can move further on when King had a couple of more incidents. There's King in the 1.6. Still nothing. But still moving in the 21st position, back to the front. Nick Gowen has now closed Tristan Bailey's lead to within 1.4 seconds. 35 laps up on the scoreboard of the scheduled 100. If you've just tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching the AER Trucks Series from Atlanta. Tristan Bailey leads in that 2.5. The 1.3 second gap back to this driver, Nick Gowen. Nick Gowen. And let me tell you, is he going? He's up 4 places from where he started, and there you can see over the last 5 laps, Tristan Bailey has been consistently slower than the 8 of Gowen. 1.3 is the gap now, and he is slowly chipping away at that. There you can see 0.2, 1.5. Just depends on the lap. But Gowen not stressing the issue. Still plenty of race to go. Anything is possible. In the 6, Michael Carter's up 9 places from where he started. He's getting around Quentin Stewart and Sam Taylor. Taylor had an incident earlier in that one truck where he scraped alongside that wall, but he seems to have gotten his wits about him. Tyler Bellinger in the double 8, one of 3 trucks that have not pitted for tires despite the 2 cautions. Jason Fensler, last week's winner, the other truck, sitting in that number 5. He's now fighting Adam Boughton for that 9th position. Boughton, the Pennsylvania driver, just off the Susquehanna River, going to the inside of Jason Fensler. He wants 9th. Elite Cup Racing says, let's do it. Cheering for his favorite drivers in the chat. Special Ed and Randy Lapidus talking about fighting on to the race at Dover. Tyler Bellinger is in, talking about there's Bellinger coming to a screeching halt, and Bellinger loses control of his quality care Ford on the way down pit road. Not only is he off cycle, but he's lost valuable seconds down pit road, and it's going to be an uphill climb for the rest of the evening for this driver here. Debbie Hutchins in the 8-2 right behind Tyler Tyone in the 80. Following Doug King in his wake. Tyone just ahead of the 3-3. Eric Kuykendall in the Skull Bandit Silverado trying to get a hold of his truck. Kuykendall not coming down pit road. The Illinois native following behind the Queen of Carrollton, Debbie Hutchins. She's up 9 places from where she started in the Yuengling Toyota Tundra. Now on the outside of Dougie King, this is the battle for 21st. Further on up, Hagen Joyner in the 7 has Dylan Picklesmeyer right behind him. Picklesmeyer is our hardest charger thus far. He's up 19 places from where he started. That 12 truck is moving, gently putting 2 left side tires on that white line, following in the draft of that 7 truck. Picklesmeyer looking to pick up 20 places. So far, we're 10 laps away from halfway. Nick Goen has reeled in Tristan Bailey by more than a second. Sammy Harrell's on his way in. Is this the start of scheduled green flag stops? The number 43 STP Chevrolet coming down for tires and fuel. He's gone about 30 laps on one run. And there you can see drivers will be going between 30 and 40 laps on one pit window. Many of these drivers already using their first set of tires. This will be set number 2 of 5 tire changes allotted to them. Bama Trama in the chat says, hey y'all, Mama Vols is here. One truck smoking hard. Is that Fathke in the 27? It is indeed Chris Fathke in truck 27. Yellow flag flies on lap 42. 3 trucks are down pit road. Eric Kuykendall, Quentin Stewart, Sammy Harrell now on his way out. Let's see what happened to Boise's Chris Fathke. The 11 truck just comes down and slams into Fathke. Nowhere the 27 could go, and unfortunately, that's the second time Chris Fathke's been involved in an accident, and he got T-boned by Eric Kuykendall, almost as if Kuykendall just was not paying attention. What in the world was that Skull Bandit truck thinking? Let's have another look with Chris Fathke. This is the lap prior in that 27. Fathke's going to make contact with the 11 truck, Quentin Stewart. Stewart's going to come right off the track, and at this point, there's Quentin Stewart, who finds himself further up through that running order. Let's see if there was any contact with the 4 truck that might have put the 11 of Stewart into Fathke. Well, the 11 truck hasn't crashed yet, so let's see if we can go further back and find out what happened to Quentin. Contact with the 38 truck. Nowhere for Quentin Stewart to go. Now let's have a look at Eric Kuykendall. There's the smoke in the air right in front of Kuykendall. What in the world was Eric Kuykendall thinking? Just does not let up at any point. We've got to go back and see what happened between the 11 and the 38 truck that caused this. That's Patrick Jenks, the Pennsylvania native. Let's roll this one back, because Jenks It wouldn't be the first time he got loose. There you see Quentin Stewart makes contact with the outside wall. Sparks flying everywhere. Stewart down to the inside, puts Jenks there. Jenks floats up the racetrack and gets into the 11. Let's roll this one back. Have a look at the hands of Pat Jenks in that 38 truck. You're going to see that 11 come down on Jenks. Have a look. .38 just floats up. And now, have a listen if you can with Eric Kuykendall. You can hear that Kuykendall's letting off the gas, but seemingly by the time he reaches Fathke, he's still moving at an incredible speed. And he makes amazing contact with that 27 truck. So about 3 or 4 trucks involved in that accident. And there you can see Fathke smoking big time. We'll see if Chris comes back to fight another lap. For now, race leader is Tristan Bailey. He last pitted on lap 42. Nick Gowen's going to be scored in the second position. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 90-second break, and we'll be back in 1.5 minutes with more racing from Atlanta. Tristan Bailey and Nick Gowen on the front row, ready to kick this party off once again with 55 laps remaining. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Tristan Bailey leads the first lap after restart. Nick Gowen is hot on his trail, and look who it is with fresh tires. Last week's winner, Mr. Jason Fensler, back in the top 3 where he was at the start of this race. And the Elk Grove native sitting ahead of Bobby Mathis in the 2-9. Mathis is up 8 places from where he started. Fensler on the offensive, right up the rear trumpet of Tristan Bailey. Let's ride along shotgun with Bobby Mathis in 4th. Shout out to OV Brian, who followed just a few minutes ago. Appreciate you, Brian. You followed during that commercial break. But look at this. Jason Fensler looking to give Tristan Bailey a break from the lead. Fensler on the outside. Bailey in second. Nick going in that third position. He's going to the front of this race if some trucks can get around him. But Bobby Mathis is looking to be one of those trucks to get around truck number 8 at the front. New leader, Jason Fensler. Further on back, Jamie Haynes in the 5-3. On the outside of Mike Carter in that 6th, the Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet Silverado watches Dylan Picklesmeyer go around him. Picklesmeyer, who's up 19 places from where he started this race, marches into the top 8, and he's also on the move to the front. Patrick Jenks, who was the catalyst behind that last yellow flag after contact with the 11 truck, now in the top 14. He's working on Andrew Teft in the 2-1 Thrustmaster Ford. Mentioned Bama Trama in the chat earlier. Mama Vols, love you as always. Send my love to Terry. Send my love to the family. Everybody over at Burnt Rubber Media. Big hug from Rick James TV. Charlie Mosley Jr. is running 19th so far. It's been kind of a backwards slide for him, but now with 49 laps to go, we're on the back 9 of this second round of racing. Mosley following in the wake of Donovan Cron, the Busch Apple Toyota Tundra, looking to get past Dougie King. King was involved in that last accident. It's been an up and down ride for him. But King now all over the back end of Joe Nelson in that 7-6. King really trying to go to the inside line. He can't make it there, but will the truck stick to the inside? It won't. There's the 4 of Cron looking to the inside of Doug King, and the other Busch Apple truck, Sam Taylor, on the outside of that 7-6 of Joey Nelson. Charlie Mosley Jr. being cheered on in that 19th position. Randy Bousquet is the cap on the top 20. The 22 Winchester Silverado was involved in that most recent crash. No, I'm sorry, the crash before this last one. He's got Tyler Bellinger right behind him. Bellinger pitted on lap 37, so Bousquet's tires are 5 laps quicker than that of Bellinger, and we saw the drop-off on that double 8 truck. It does not like worn tires. How will Bellinger maintain these good years, and will we see him back inside the top 10 before it's too late? Back at the front, Jason Fensler with a very slim lead over Tristan Bailey. Nick Gowen in the 3rd position has Bobby Mathis behind him. And welcome in the 19, Indiana's Kevin Hayes. He's got Adam Boughton in his wake and Hagen Joyner trying to follow, but right now Hayes sits on the very end of the top 5. He's trying to go to the top side around Bobby Mathis in the H&M Motorsports Ford. One truck slow to the inside. That's the 98 of Michael Newton, wisely removing himself from the leaders. But how will other trucks avoid him? Newton skating up that line, almost getting into Picklesmeyer, who's had a brilliant first half of the race. On the front straight, no apron for anybody to run to, and it looks like everyone's going to clear Michael Newton safely. There you can see the 98 truck has heavy damage, and the caution is out for the 4th time tonight. Chris Fathke still in the pits. We'll see where this came from, and it looks like Mike Allen in the 3 might have had some incident happen to him. There's more trucks that are damaged. Fathke's coming out of pit road. It says James Weathers was involved in this incident as well. Nope, this was earlier. Let's see what exactly just happened to these drivers here. Oh, big contact there. Quentin Stewart involved once again. Just no respite for this 11 truck. Let's go back. This is the lap prior. Quentin Stewart in the 11, sitting ahead of Tyler Tyone in the 80. Tyone from Cornwall, Ontario, has Mike Allen well behind him. Not sure if the 3 was even involved in that one. Fathke still down pit road. Let's see what happened to this 11 truck. Still just a mystery. 2-2 coming down on the 11. 11 gets into the grass, but no damage here, so it must be the lap afterwards. Let's have a look here and roll this one back. The 80 of Tyone just coming right onto the 11 of Stewart. Right along shotgun with Quentin. Both trucks just getting hooked. Let's go back and have a look inside truck 80. See what the world looks like from Tyler Tyone's ride. There's Tyone, and that looks like that might have been Debbie Hutchins, and it is Debbie Hutchins. Carrollton's Debbie Hutchins getting involved in that accident. Not good for her. It's right along with Hutchins in the 8-2. She just couldn't make her way through. Just not enough time for the driver of the 82 truck. Special Ed puts 100 bits in the chat. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you, my friend. Caution number 4 flies over the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Some drivers coming down pit road, some drivers electing to stay out. Adam Boughton did not come down during that last pit stop cycle, so truck 94 now being scored as the new leader at Atlanta. Meanwhile, everybody, and I mean everybody else between 2nd and 22nd came down pit road for tires, and it is a 15-lap difference between the Goodyears on Boughton's truck and the rest of the field. We'll see how that works out for Tyler Boughton after the break, fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute and a half with more AER truck racing from Atlanta. Lined up 2x2, 15 rows deep. It will be 40 laps to go when we take the green. Adam Boughton up 12 places from where he started, but he's got Goodyears that are 15 laps older than the rest of the competition. And on this rubber cheese grater they call Atlanta, we'll see how that fares for him. It's a gamble, but we'll see how these dice land. Green flag is out, 40 laps to go. Caution immediately, wreck immediately from the start, just disaster, disorganization, and the big one on the front straight, too many trucks to count. What in the world just went on? No yellow. We're still moving at speed, we're still racing. Jason Fenzer leading, Nick going to his inside. Kevin Hayes benefits from that one, going in the 8 behind Fensler in that 5. Will the track be clear? And it is. There is smoke and no caution. Let's keep it moving inside the final 40 laps. Fensler, going in Hayes, your top 3, and there's the caution right there as you have stragglers on the racing surface while the leaders are coming by at an enormous rate of speed. Caution is out for the 5th time tonight. And they do say cautions breed cautions. We'll see what in the world caused this accident right from the jump. Oh, the 53 of Jamie Haynes possibly getting into the 78 truck there. There's trucks already wrecking here. Nowhere for that Mahindra Ford to go. And it's a demolition derby at this point. Special Dogs and More says that was insane. Special Ed, bit surprised that the caution didn't come out immediately. Let's see if we can find out again from the blimp what just happened. There's the spin. It looks like, let's go back here for a minute. It looks like the tires spun on the 78 truck. Ovi Bryan with a first-time chat. Welcome, Brian. He says, ouch. Talk about it. Let's see what happened. Waylon Turner in the 7-8. He's right up the rear bumper of the 29 truck. The 28 truck, excuse me. No, it isn't a 29. I'm sorry. The 28 is Jorge Rincon. The 29 truck is that of Bobby Mathis. Have a listen here. Mistimes the start. The 94 truck, though. Boughton, the race leader who didn't pit, involved in that one as well. Nowhere for these guys to go. Just... And you can see in the back, just look at all this. The 94 almost comes to a halt. And ironically enough, the 94 kickstarts the accident and survives most of that damage. Let's have another look with Boughton. Spun the tires on the restart. You see Fensler hammers down. Tristan Bailey got a big slam from all of that. And look at these trucks fly. The 98 involved the 33 of Kuykendall. Again, just body slamming trucks there. Let's have a look with Kuykendall. And have a listen with Eric. Eric Kuykendall with all the room in the world. You can see the crash unfolding. Kuykendall still moving at an enormous rate of speed into the center of the accident. Naturally getting involved in that one. Dougie King, he got a good piece of this action. You can just hear the, oh, look at that, just a little bit of a scratch, and he just gets into the back end of the 7-8 truck. There's the 1 truck crashing in front of him. Just chaos all around this joint. Special Ed says Haynes almost got through it clean. Special Dogs and More says Goen did. Let's have a look at the 8 truck, Nick Goen. Now, interestingly enough, you're riding on board with Jason Fensler, who's leading this race. It's interesting enough that the yellow flag didn't come out until they hit turn number 1, but my thought process is this. What in the world are trucks that have just been involved in that accident doing in the middle of the racing surface in turn number 1? Have a look. There's the 30. There's the 3 of Mike Allen, just wild on that racing surface. I don't know if they assumed the yellow flag was out, but it certainly wasn't before they had gone onto the racing surface. Luckily, everybody who wasn't involved in that accident makes it through just fine. Tristan Bailey, one of the fastest trucks in the field all night, got a big piece of that accident, and now the 2.5 Chevy Goods Silverado had to come down pit road to repair some of that. Jason Fensler with the race lead. Kevin Hayes is up 14 places from where he started. Hagen Joyner in the third position, and Dylan Picklesmeyer, who was outside in the 1-2. Picklesmeyer just making up all sorts of spots. See if we can have a quick word with car 19, Kevin Hayes. Apparently not. That's okay. We're going to see if we can bother Picklesmeyer real quick. Dylan Picklesmeyer, Rick James, you got me.
What's up, man?
You're on the outside, about to restart this one. You're up 24 places from where you started. Do you have the truck to win it?
I don't know if I got the truck to win it, but I got at least a top 10 truck. So let's see. Here
Let's
we
go to work, buddy. Best of luck. Keep the shiny side up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Picklesmeyer getting... Fensler has control on the inside line. Green flag is out. 35 to go. This time, everybody makes it through cleanly. Hagen Joyner losing immediate ground to Jason Fensler, who's up 6/10 from where he started. Hayes sitting in third, Picklesmeyer fourth, and look who's in fifth, one Jorge Rincon on the outside now. Bobby Mathis to his inside in the 2.9, and welcome Tyler Bellinger back inside the top 10. He did pit on that most recent caution, learning from that first mistake. And this race just got a lot more nicer for Tyler Bellinger. He's up to 6th thus far. Rincon up 17 places from where he started. Joey Nelson, Waylon Turner in the 76 and the 78 respectively, sitting 8th and 9th, and Charlie Mosley Jr. adorning the 10th position. Bailey to the inside of that 8 and 9 truck, coming around, 69 laps up on the scoreboard. Here comes Tristan Bailey now up into 10th. Waylon Turner ahead, and he's knocking these trucks off one at a time, just flicking them away. Hagen Joyner in second, trying to chase down Jason Fensler, but he's got Hayes all up his tailpipes. 5, 7, 19, your top three, with Picklesmeyer sitting in fourth. He's 0.8 of a second ahead of Tyler Bellinger, who's made his way up into the top 5 around Bobby Mathis, and Bellinger, whose race was once lost outside the top 15 with worn tires. Now back inside of the top 5, Tyler Bellinger just ran his fastest lap of the race with a 31:34. Hagen Joyner on the outside loses the third position to Dylan Picklesmeyer. 30 laps to go on the scoreboard. Fensler looking to win his second consecutive race this season. Kevin Hayes looking to stop that run. One truck to the inside, that's Debbie Hutchins working her way through the grass and down pit road, the queen of Carrollton, Texas. We'll keep it moving. Hutchins having a bit of an incident there. Let's see what happened to her. Oh, she slams that wall hard, and it looks like the Ford truck may have had something to do with that one also. Maybe no contact. Oh, you can see the Ford. That's Donovan Cron. Incredibly loose. Well before that corner, Hutchins has a blink. Perhaps contact with the Ford during that blink. There's Cron trying to save his own truck, and he keeps it moving again. There are the leaders. Kevin Hayes in that 19 following Jason Fensler, the Indianapolis native, looking to get one over on the Californian. Picklesmeyer sitting in their wake. What a run it would be for him. He said he didn't know if he had the truck to win, but he has the truck to compete. And how? Now all up the back end of Hayes. Bellinger starting to fall off of this top 3 run. further on back. There's a crash right there. Dougie King, Waylon Turner involved in another accident. Truck 78 backwards out of turn number 2. Caution is out for the 6th time tonight. The 2-1 Thrustmaster Ford to the inside. Look at the 76 truck. Nowhere for him to go. The 16 of Dougie King, was he able to avoid that accident? He was. Let's have another look with truck 78, Waylon Turner. And that was the 2-1 of Andrew Teft, who's a lap down, who got into Waylon Turner, who is on the lead lap. See if we can ride on board with Andrew Teft. Well, a bit earlier. Let's try and ride on board with Andrew Teft here. Well, we got to run this one back, but keep your eye on the hands of that 21 truck. One more look from up above. There you can see the 21 just floating up the surface, and that may have been netcode onto the 78. Have one more look. So hard to call. I didn't see any contact there. One more look behind the 7-8 of Turner. None that I can see. Let's roll this one back here. Have a look with that 2-1 truck, because that's going to be the telltale sign. Did Andrew Teft make contact with Turner in that 7-8? And the answer is no. And unfortunately, the net code cookie crumbles for Mr. Waylon Turner. Caution comes out right before the 25 lap to go mark, and the dice are being rolled once again as drivers come down pit road. Tyler Bellinger does not. He last pitted on lap 63. His tires will be 11 laps older than the competition behind him. Nick Gowen restarting second. Jason Fensler being scored in third. Look who's made it up to fourth. Charlie Mosley Jr. in the 8-9. Monster Energy Chevy. Kevin Hayes sitting in 19th. He's up 11 places from where he started. Dylan Picklesmeyer still having a sensational run thus far. 25 laps to go. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Mr. Bellinger. See if we can learn about his strategy here. Tyler Bellinger, Rick James, you got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
You gambled once before with the tires, and it did not pay off. You slid back outside the top 15. How, with tires that are 11 laps older than the competition, are you going to stay up front this time?
Well, I definitely won't stay up front long. I only got one set left, so I wanted to save them. I'm counting on another caution here, and I'll, another 5-10 laps, get a caution, pit there, and see what we can do.
Inside 25 laps to go. It's going to be crunch time when you do bolt those new rubbers onto the truck. Who's going to be the toughest driver on the way to victory lane?
Well, I'm not really sure what the other guys' tire strategies are. I know Nick only has one set left. I'm assuming Jason also has one set left. He's been the favorite. I had the speed to run with them earlier on, just tried a different strategy, and then got caught up in a spinning on pit road and a wreck. So if I can manage a top 10 after everything I've gone through tonight, I'll be happy with that.
The most important question of the evening, Tyler, we've got to ask, what is your favorite kind of cheeseburger?
Talking like fast food or just in general?
Just your favorite cheeseburger in general. Jason Fensler said his favorite was a bacon cheeseburger.
I tell you what, anybody who knows what Whataburger is, they make a Chop House cheddar burger, and that is to die for.
Sounds like it. Hopefully, if you get this win, you can get one in celebration. In the meantime, Ty, keep the shiny side up, buddy. Hopefully, we talk to you at the end.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
getting ready to race inside. 24 laps to go. It'll be 2-3 at the line. Tyler Bellinger will have control with Nick Goen on the outside line. Nope, we're not going green this time. Lights are back on atop the pace car. So we're going to go one more time around. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more racing fans. Don't go anywhere. Quick 30-second break, and we'll be back for the final 22 laps of racing from Atlanta. Ready to go racing again. Shout out John Fry with 100 bits in the chat. Appreciate you, Uncle Fry. Love you, pal. Tyler Bellinger at the front. Nick going to his outside. Green flag is out. Deuce to go. Let's go racing. Tyler Bellinger says he wasn't going to stay up front, and he knew it. Those tires are starting to show their age. Tristan Bailey in the 2.5 trying to make his way back up through the field after catching a big piece of the big one on the front straight. Bailey in that 2.5, last pitted on lap 74. He's looking to make his way on the outside. Bellinger running on his inside line. Kevin Hayes in the 19 is impeding that 2.5 at the moment, but how impatient will he get? He had some internet issues earlier in this race where the 2.5 continued to blink. Now will he move to the inside where Nick Goen finds himself? He does not. He continues behind the 1.9. Goen in his very own GST, Spider number 8, losing ground on that 25 truck, now trying to come up alongside Bailey. He splits to the inside line, now working on Kevin Hayes for the second position. 19 laps to go. Jason Fensler now leading Tristan Bailey in second by 0.6 of a second. Further on, Adam Boughton in that 94. He was a big part of that accident. He was leading, coming to the line to restart this race when he spun the tires, and he kick-started an incredible crash in that Mountain Dew truck. Truck 94, that Toyota Tundra, squeezed between the 2.8 of Jorge Rincon and Sam Taylor, sits 11th. Will Schmilk in the 24, trying to get around the 8.9 of Charlie Mosley Jr. and does so successfully. Further on up, Dylan Picklesmeyer in the 12 behind the 8 of Goen, while the 19 of Hayes and the 2.5 of Bailey continue to battle it out. 17 laps to go, and the gap is now half a second between Tristan Bailey and Jason Fensler. 16 more times around this 1.5-mile D oval. Donovan Cron in the 20. He's wrestling with Tyler Tyone over that 20th position. Tyone getting around 19th. 2x2, a couple of rows deep. You're looking at 10th through 13th. Patrick Jenks in that 38 truck. He's been involved in a couple of scrapes tonight, but he's looking to turn that into a top 10 finish. Bailey all over the back end of Fensler. The 7.6 truck of Joe Nelson slow on the inside. Trucks will try and get around him. 15 laps to go. Does Fensler put up a fight? Does he let Bailey wear out those tires? What kind of strategy are both of these drivers on? They both pitted on lap 74. They both have equal wear almost. Debbie Hutchins going up into the middle line, almost into Tristan Bailey. Everybody makes it through. The 9.8 truck. That's Michael Newton on that inside line. He's slow. Everyone's going to have to get around him, as will the 33 of Eric Kuykendall, the Skull Bandit Chevrolet, who's slow on the inside. Fensler still being scored as the race leader, coming to lucky number 13. Laps to go. Caution is out for the 7th time tonight. Charlie Mosley Jr. has crashed hard on the outside of turn number 2, and the smoke clears while the Monster Energy Silverado tries to clear out. Let's see what happened to the Alabaman. The 7.6 truck, one of those slow lap down trucks, right into the 8.9 of Mosley. There's the 7 of Hagen Joyner, who's just got caught up into that one. Collateral damage for the 7 truck. And let's ride on board with Mosley. That's the 7.6 of Joe Nelson, who just seemingly snapped to the right in the middle of the corner. Let's have a look with Nelson. Just floating up the racetrack. Hands are still turned to the left, but not on the inside line. You can see he's at 6,000 revs at a speed considerably slower than the rest of the field behind him. One more look from the blimp. Hagen Joyner just with nowhere to go. 3 trucks go for a ride. There's Mosley Jr. in a cloud of smoke as other trucks get around him. So caution number 7 flies over the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Elite Cup Racing only says, wow. Talk about it. Mosley Jr. running in 16th. Was on the lead lap, but that accident will knock him back. Tristan Bailey has not come down pit road. Neither has Kevin Hayes or Dylan Picklesmeyer. We'll see who makes that leap. Who's going to risk it inside these final 10 laps when we get this restart? Which of these leaders will risk the track position for fresh tires? Will it be Tristan Bailey? It will not. The 2.5 looks like he's staying out, and he is. Kevin Hayes, Dylan Picklesmeyer, everybody staying out on the racetrack. The 8.2 of Deb Hutchins on her way in. There's the 5.3 of Jamie Haynes. He's coming down for tires and fuel. Kuykendall in the 33. Several trucks making their way down pit road, but none of the big players at the front of this race. Tristan Bailey will have control of the field. Kevin Hayes will be starting in the 2nd position, up 24 places from where he started. Dylan Picklesmeyer will be restarting in the 3rd position. We'll get the green flag with 9 laps to go, fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the 9-lap shootout for the win in round 2 of Aer Trucks. 9 at the line. Bailey with control of the field. Green flag is out. 9 more laps. Kuykendall with another incident, but we stay green at the front. 3 wide for that second position. Look at them all race behind him. Charlie Mosley Jr. on that inside line. Being scored in 24th, but he is fighting hard. Is there contact? And that's Robert Mathis, not Mosley Jr., Kevin Hayes, to an undisputed second, going behind him in third. Tristan Bailey and Kevin Hayes did not come down pit road. Nick Goin did. He's got fresh Goodyears in that GST Spider Silverado, and he's hunting down this driver here, Tristan Bailey. 7 laps to go this time by. 0.7 of a second the gap. Here comes Tyler Bellinger with a head full of steam. Last week's winner, Jason Fensler, now on the move. Novocaine says, let's go 12. Kyle Ben Swan cheering for Tristan Bailey. He says, let's go Tristan. Big crash out of turn number 2. Jason Fensler involved, the 94, the 38. Dougie King looking for his birthday win. Special Ed letting us know. And the caution comes out with 7 laps remaining. Ovi Bryan said, what a move by Fensler. We were just going to celebrate Jason Fensler going purple. 31:31, his fastest lap of the race so far, and the fastest lap overall. But you see what it amounts to. Contact on the outside of turn 1. Let's have a look. Fensler's already in the wall. That's the 19 of Kevin Hayes, who bounces through the air. There you can see Adam Boughton, who's just had a rotten string of luck. Involved in that one. Let's roll this one back and have a look, because it looks like the 5 was already in the wall after making contact with Bellinger in the double 8. There's the contact to the 5, and last week's winner Fensler up against the wall. That could ruin his chances to win, and the trucks behind them just casualties in that otherwise heavy crash. Have a look with Boughton in the 94. The 38 truck, the Pennsylvanian, again involved in, I believe that's his 3rd or 4th caution tonight. Patrick Jenks immediately jumping to pit road after that. Looks like Jenks made some contact with the 1, and he immediately jumps to pit road before the damage even hits his truck. But let's have a look, and it is contact with the 1. That's Sam Taylor, who floats up the racetrack. Here's Doug King in the 16. Again, another innocent bystander, Adam Boughton, Jamie Haynes. The 4 of Don Cron involved in that one. Tyler B says, that was all my fault. Tyler Bellinger in the double 8, claiming responsibility for that one. And this accident here may not have been the product of Bellinger's contact with the 5. It just looks like it was 2 isolated incidents. And let's have another look with Bellinger here. In that 8-8. One more look. Let's start in turn number 1, because it looks like Bellinger's just holding his inside line. Let's take a look from the blimp. Blue truck on the inside. Guy just floats up the racetrack. Nowhere for the 5 to go, nowhere for the 19 to go, and there you can see the incident starting behind them. So Jason Fensler trying to go 2 in a row. His attempts just got a lot harder. We're going to have our first of 3 green-white checkered attempts. Tristan Bailey at the front of the field. has tires that are 14 laps older than this driver here, Nick Gowan, on his attempt to win in his home race. Gowan behind the 2.5 of Bailey. Has Bellinger behind him as well. Truck 88 last pitted on lap 88. His tires, as well as Hagen Joyner, all the same wear. Bobby Mathis, the 29 truck, he's up 7 places from where he started. His tires and Picklesmeyer behind him, the same wear as Tristan Bailey. They last pitted on lap 74. So when we come to the line, it's going to be 2 laps to go, 3 miles to settle this one. Special Ed in the chat says 53 got murdered. Elite Cup Racing said it's the big one. Second big one. It's the second time we've had more than 6 trucks involved in an accident. We'll see if we survive the next 3 miles in this race. Bailey to the inside in the 2.5. Going to the outside in the 8 truck. Ty Bellinger in that 88. Lining up to the inside of Hagen Joyner in the 7. Bobby Mathis lining up to the inside of Dylan Picklesmeyer, who's had a couple of blinking issues tonight. Hopefully he makes it the rest of the way without issue. Jorge Rincon in the 2.8. He's up 17 places from where he started. He's got some of the freshest tires on the field. Jason Fensler just pitted. He's restarting 9th. Nick Gowan on the outside. Tristan Bailey to the inside. Elite Cup Racing says 3 fingers up for Dale. How about 2 fingers for 2 laps to go? 3 miles remain. Pace car peels off. Green flag flies. Let's go racing at Atlanta. 1.5 miles to go. Gowan tries to move. Bailey throws the block. Will both of these drivers make it to the line in one piece? Here comes Tyler Bellinger. Bailey going defensive up high, really squeezing the 8 truck. Will they make contact? No. Gowan leads the lap. 1 lap to go, less than 1.5 miles. The 2.5 of Bailey to the inside, going on the outside. Tyler Bellinger sitting in 3rd. Will he take a shot? There's contact with the 8. The 2.5 does not have the grip to hold them off any longer. Going ahead of Bellinger. Less than a quarter of a lap to go. From Atlanta, Georgia, in the GST Spider truck, Bellinger behind the 8 of Gowan, who will survive and make a last lap pass to win round 2 at Atlanta. Textbook way to get it done on the high side at Atlanta. Tyler Bellinger in 2nd, Tristan Bailey finishing in 3rd, Hagen Joyner in 4th, Jason Fensler starting 9th, finishing in 5th, Bobby Mathis 6th, Jorge Rincon 7th, Dylan Picklesmeyer is 8th, Sam Taylor coming home in 9th, and Kevin Hayes rounding out the top 10. Elite Cup Racing sending their congratulations to Nick Gowan. He went to the front, didn't he? Beautifully constructed, great last lap pass. Gowan burning the house down in his hometown race. Let's have another look at that last lap. Gowan on the outside just had the tires, his tires 14 laps more fresh than that of Tristan Bailey. Bailey still bravely able to hold on for 3rd. There he goes to mount the defense up top. A little bit of contact with the 8, but no harm, no foul. Tyler Bellinger mounting 1 more run, but it just wasn't enough, and Elite Cup Racing throws up 8 bits for this driver right here, who's still celebrating. Tristan Bailey in front of him there, and the 8 car Gowan gets the job done, fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Podium Interviews in just a moment. On the podium now with our top three, starting with the pole sitter, Truck 25, Tristan Bailey. Tristan, you had one of the fastest trucks all night long, second fastest lap of the race behind Jason Fensler, and at the end, what would it have taken to hold off that 8 truck of Nick Gowen?
New tires and yeah.
Descriptive as always. In 2 weeks, Tristan, we're headed into Dover. Can we get a chance to win that race there? What are your chances at the concrete mile?
Well, I don't know. The first time I really ran it was Sunday night in the Arctic cars. And I don't really run Dover that much, so we'll have to put in some practice laps and see how it goes.
We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Congratulations on that bronze medal. Our second place finisher tonight, Tyler Bellinger, into the 88 Quality Care Ford. Tyler, it was an up and down race, and we told you earlier in the race, we talked about how we learned the hard way about tires. Was there anything left for that 8 car, and were the tires really that much of a difference maker for you?
Tires were definitely a huge difference. I purposely didn't pit that first pit of the race just to try to save a set for the end, so that actually in the end ended up working out for me, so I wouldn't say it was a horrible strategy. But 8 was fast. He's typically one of the favorites. We have had a couple good battles in the past. Knew I probably wouldn't have much for him. It was just really going to matter what Tristan did. I really anticipated Nick was going to be able to get a good restart going to turn 1 and clear him, and I was going to be stuck behind Tristan. So I was surprised that I really even had a shot. When they were side by side there, I was like, well, I can follow Goen or I can follow Tristan, and I just followed Tristan because the low line was my preferred line anyways, and I think they touched, and I thought they were going to take each other out in that high lane, so I actually lifted so I could stay low and clear, and if I hadn't lifted that little bit, Tristan would have clipped me. So yeah, like you said, definitely an up and down race for me tonight. Got caught up in a big wreck, had to use the fast repair. Pretty happy with that second place finish. I feel horrible for I think it was the 5. I was running that low lane and it just pushed up a tiny bit. I didn't even make hard contact with him, but it shot him up the track. So he was probably the favorite to win tonight. I apologized in the race multiple times to him. So if anything, he owes me one. But overall, good day for the 88, and we'll move on to next week.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Congratulations on that second place finish. Our race winner in the number 8 GST Spider Silverado, Nick Goen. Absolute masterclass on fresh tires tonight, and it seems like if it weren't for those yellows, you would have really put, or possibly even led, more laps tonight, but you led the one that counted. Take us through that last lap.
Well, yeah, like Tyler said, I mean, definitely was a little slow on the restart, but all I wanted to do was get to Tristan's outside. I knew, like, him being on older tires, he just wouldn't be able to keep the speed up on the low line. If I got there and stuck to it, and definitely had a hair-raising moment with him because I knew he was going to send it into 3 to try to just stay there, or 2. I saw him slide up, but thankfully he made it by, and that was really the only goal, was just to get up next to him, because I mean he's a hard racer, he's fast, and he's hard to get around.
You managed to get the W around an incredibly talented Tristan Bailey. You held off Tyler Bellinger on the last lap. 2 weeks from now at the Monster Mile, will it be a second consecutive victory?
Maybe, we'll see. I liked Dover. It's just a bigger Bristol to me, but I have high expectations, and but we'll see what happens.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks, man. Congratulations on getting the win on your home track.
Thank you.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us tonight. Another brilliant chapter of racing in the American Elite Racing Series. 2 weeks from now, 14 days, we're going to go to iRacing's Dover for the trucks on the concrete. You won't want to miss that. Stay tuned to Rick James TV. We will be taking a break this next week, but for good reason. We're going to be at the Talladega Super Speedway, not the iRacing Talladega Super Speedway, the one that's on TV. That's where we're going. So stay tuned for some activity from there. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we